Alrighty, guys, we are live. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Viahos. My friends call me Sleuth. Today we are looking at the double homicide out of Delphi, Indiana of Abby and Libby and the so-called confession of Richard Allen, their main suspect who is in custody. We'll get going here in just a minute. Okay. Let's see who we have in our chat today. Jessica, Robin Riley. Just listened to something interesting. Is there an email I could send it to you? Yeah, that was pretty interesting, by the way. There's my email. I apologize for the neighbor's dog. I had to shut the window. Apparently, they are out for the night, so he might be getting on my nerves. What is up, Metal Mama? I think I have a fruit fly. I have my mini nursery going. It's probably where it came from. Getting my garden ready. Some seedlings. R. Barley. Wait, what? Oh, the confession? You didn't know that he had confessed? Quote unquote. Now we don't know what kind of confession it was. Was it this kind of a confession?
What? At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes, when did you shoot him?
I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean, we need you.
Is something like that? Was he threatened? I think that's what the defense, that's the picture they're trying to paint, is that he was threatened by guards who were part of the Odinites. See this guy? Look at those crazy eyes. And the Odinism patch. See it? You see this guy? And his little tattoo. But I'm telling you, the Delphi case and what happened to Abby and Libby has turned out to be one of the craziest cases I've ever seen or witnessed. I mean, the just the way that it has changed and evolved, and like you never know what to expect. The very moment you think you're at the finish line, there's like 10 more laps. What is up? True Crime Talk with Frank Meister, Ziggy, Doris Brockman. Hey, what's up, Jessica? Donna 72. What's up, Peace Train? Night Shadow, Olivia, Patricia, Jill. How you doing? How's the weather in Indiana? Olivia 2, Camaro Lover, how are you? Nedra. Sensei, what's up?
We do not train to be merciful here. Mercy is for the weak. Here, on the street, in competition.
Sensei says, hey everyone, happy Friday. Sleuth Intuition, hope you are not going to be subjecting us to Odinist initiation rituals again. Nope, not tonight. That's Thursdays. Or what? Tears Day? Whatever Brad Holder said on his Facebook post. Horihito, what up? CJK, how you doing? What's up, Dark Sacred Knight? Connie Hill. Purdue, how are you? Redfoot, my dude. Who am I missing? Sharon Parker. Cindy Hudson. Karen Bentley, how are you? Nixon sees through. Christine. Willow, what up? Rescue, how are you? Missing Unsolved Crime. And Julianne. Hiawatha, welcome in. Hey, good to see you. Shadow. Miranda, GP, Devoted. Mustang. Allie Snow, welcome. Charlotte. Miranda. Yeah, he seems to have stopped. Shane, welcome. Miranda. Violet, welcome. Crystal. Julia, thanks for the case suggestion for True Crime in the Morning. Probably cover that on Tuesday. Haven't had a chance to look into the case much, so. But you're pretty much batting 100 with your case suggestions, so I trust you. I expect it to be a another mysterious case, which could use our help, right? What's up, D? Jerry? Melissa? Super psyched. How's everything going with you, D? Vertigo, what up? How's things over there on your side of the planet? What's up, Remy Stuff? All right, let's take a look at what we have on the agenda for tonight. Okay, so I don't know if it means anything, but Kathy's brother, John, aka Johnny Walker. Now, I feel like his accident in 2016 was the catalyst for this murder. I think it's what allowed it to happen. It allowed it to fester, like a petri dish. Just a little drop of bacteria is all it needed. And then, boom. So we're going to look into that. I've come a little bit further on the information surrounding that, and I don't know if it has anything to do directly. I just feel like it might. Only because you have his death. May he rest in peace, of course. In a tragic accident. Now, after that rips Richard Allen and his family out of their normal routine, shoves them into Peru. So now they're forced back into Peru where they've left, Mexico, Peru, that whole area. Johnny was buried in Mexico too, in a German Baptist cemetery. So I believe a lot of Kathy's family was buried there. So we're going to dive into that. And then also, I spoke to somebody who works in psychiatry. That's as far as I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to read my notes. And it's going to have a lot to do with the confession. Has Richard Allen ever been hospitalized? Yeah, well, at least for the last 3 years anyway. So we got a lot of information, and then we also were provided Richard Allen's military history. So 3 items up today. And also, we know what they were prescribing Richard Allen while he's been incarcerated. Hey, Apple, been a minute. Hey, thank you for sponsoring today's live stream, my friend. Where you been? What is up, Robin B? Shout out to the Midwest. Justice for Abby and Libby and their family. Rainy and damp, 40 degrees and foggy. Ooh, spooky. Thank you for that comment. All right. And then I got a bunch of just some random things that I've kind of been throwing in the Discord. I'll share that with you guys today. It's nothing significant. Some food for the trolls, I guess. What's going on with you, Frank? Okay, where should we start? Let's just go with the random stuff here. Okay, so I think this is Brad Holder. It's a side by side with the bridge guy. I don't know. It doesn't look the same to me. And his feet are cut off too, because there's like a fire pit in this photo. But I mean, the basic shape doesn't seem to be the same. The neck seems longer. The shoulder's a little bit more like slouched forward. Maybe the arm's a little bit longer too. Could be similar. And then the hips are wider. And remember, Richard Allen was actually pretty skinny in 2016 around December. And we can prove that with Kathy Allen's Facebook posts. So in my opinion, I do not think that Brad Holder is a match for the bridge guy. But with this, you can never be too sure, right? Thank you, Phil Bond. Another super sticker. Appreciate that. Give a shout out to our sponsors. Sorry about the dogs. Shout out to Apple and my guy Phil, today's sponsors. Appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. Perry Winkle. V. Marie, welcome in. Good to see you. Charlotte. I don't see a match. See what you guys have to say about it. Welcome in, Stacy. Is it possible that Richard Allen has some kind of obsession with Odinism himself? I'm not ready for this trial. Well, if he does, he's had 6 years to erase any evidence to support that. You would think if Brad Holder was leaving runes at a double homicide, he would have gone and erased it from his Facebook. Nobody would ever have been the wiser. Kind of like probably what Richard Allen did, right? No trace of him. Thank you, Peace Train. Thank you, guys. Apple, Phil, and Peace Train will be sponsoring today's live stream. Shout out to you guys. What's up, Mel from Cold Truth? Holding it down. Another great channel. Anthony, my dude, what's up? All right. So we'll see if you guys have anything to say about that comparison. CJK says, enjoyed your live, Mel. Most likely referring to the one on Ray Hainish. And Garrett Kurtz being charged with his murder. Some great news. So he will die in prison. Just hearing his name, you know, I don't like to be angry, but man, when you think of that guy really pisses me off. I mean, just the sound of his name. He won't last long. Thanks, Connie. It's my guy Farmer. What up? Molly's asking, was John Walker a minister? I don't know if he was a minister, but he was very involved in a church there in where I think it was in Denver, maybe. I don't know. I have the information. I'll have to look it up. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, somebody did reach out to me that goes to church, went to church with him and said he was a pretty cool dude. Let's go to Autumn Renee. In my opinion, his confession, while likely true, was coerced, which seems irresponsible on their part, cutting him off, then giving him the tablet. So you think it was something like this?
What? At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes, when did you shoot? When did you
I
shoot?
shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean. You need.
He shot the clerk. What do you mean coerced? Like these guards back here? By those guys? Everything's reversed. Sorry, guys. You better tell her. Better tell her that you did it. Or it's the fishes. I mean, why would you risk it all? I mean, you're basically saying you're part of the murder by threatening him. What's up, Tech Death? What else was I messing with? Okay, let's take a look at this. YouTube took it down, but remember we were going over the image and we saw this tongue? We saw the tongue or whatever. Well, it reminded me of this image, remember? So I put them together and I got this. You can even see the teeth a little bit right here. Not sure what this means. I just thought it was interesting. Shiwari says BH is bigger than BG. It looks like it. Probably by maybe a couple inches. Like 4 maybe. Yeah, BH doesn't look. I mean, he kind of does until you put him side by side. Like if you were just to go see a photo of Brad Holder, especially when he's wearing that little hat, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, he's a Freemason." Well, it all starts with Logan Holder, right? That's how the journey begins. You're like, who could have done this to these two girls? Were they dating anybody? Oh, wait, what? Logan Holder? What's this guy all about? Well, I found his Facebook. Not much here. Oh, wait, what's this? His dad is a Freemason. Dun dun dun. Not only is he a Freemason, he's an Odinite.
This is some trippy ass shit, Holmes.
Right. Just confirming all of your sleuthy intuitions. Autumn says you can't change your waistline bone structure neither. Not anyway natural, I don't think. Well, maybe your waistline. I know, like back in the old Western days and in some cultures, you can get right down to the spinal cord. But then you still got your hips, you know. I don't know if you can do anything about that. Sure, you could. I mean, people are bending their skulls and reshaping their feet, stretching their necks. It's crazy. He's not built like him, at least to me. Hey, what's up, Jamie? Good to see you. Sensei, the dogs want to be part of the sleuth crew. They are. One of them has a really good sense of smell. What's up, Deborah? So what do you guys think about that? The tongue thing. Kind of see a little bit of teeth, maybe. Dragon Keeper. CN. Thank you, Apple. Frank says there's a scrub alert.
It'll get worse. It'll get worse before it gets better.
Better hit those likes.
But don't ever take sides with anyone. Against the family again.
All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this video.
We start live at 5 right
That's
now
loud.
with breaking news that we've been covering out in Carroll County. We're still working to learn some more about a major
Did you hear
revelation
that?
that was made.
Listen to what she almost said lurking.
In Carroll County, we're still working to learn some more.
I was like, you and me both, girl. Watch.
With breaking news that we've been covering out in Carroll County, we're still working to learn some more about a major revelation that was made today in the hearing for the Delphi double murders and the suspect there. Attorneys on both sides say that Richard Allen has confessed to killing Abby Williams and Libby German.
Now, the defense is also arguing that Allen is not in the mental state of mind, the right mental state of mind, to go to trial.
See, the defense said that, but we know that he wasn't on anything. Let's take a look here. So in my notes, it says here, Richard Allen was given Ativan, lorazepam, April 14th, 2023. It was for a daily dose for 5 days. Now, the date of April 14th is just a few days after his quote-unquote confession, which was on April 3rd, according to the probable cause affidavit. So let me continue on here. Maybe we'll just jump right into this. Ativan is an anti-anxiety medication called benzodiazepine. I probably didn't say that right. I mean, I'm half illiterate anyway. You've probably heard of Xanax, very similar to that. So remember this, I was having a conversation with somebody and writing down notes. The dose, which was 2 milligrams daily, is standard. And this I put on in quotes. Let's just calm you down a bit. So they didn't give this to him while he was confessing. They didn't give it to him the day after he confessed. They gave it to him a few days, like about a week or so after. So he's obviously not out of his mind. And this is the only time in the last 3 years that he was ever prescribed any controlled substance. And here's some more notes from my source. Interesting, though, if he was being treated for ongoing psychosis, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, those individuals will be given occasional prescriptions for a benzodiazepine. Is that what I always hear when they say benzos? Such as Ativan, but the past 3 years, he hasn't had anything except that one time. So I think we can eliminate that he was like crazy, right? But also there's the debate, was he on some type of hard drug? And we're going to look into that also. Because we do have some people that worked with Richard Allen that came forward and they talked about, this was on a Reddit post, and I have it here. We're going to read it momentarily. That he never really called out for work. He was always on time. He didn't, And here she's saying to really properly identify what's wrong, those are some of the things you would look for, especially it could be drugs, it could be mental health, or it could be addiction. Let's see. It says in a for anything over the past 3 years and given a med like this, it would also be on this report. If someone is crazy, usually there's occasionally psychiatric hospitalizations to get them stabilized, and always, I mean always, while in a psych hospital. For being out of your mind, you would be given a benzo like this. So basically, I can without a doubt say he's not been in a psych hospital in the past 3 years. So, I mean, that answers half of the question. We really don't know about what about the time around the murders of Abby and Libby. Was he missing work? Was he obviously, maybe he was hospitalized. This report is only 3 years, goes back 3 years. Again, my specialty for over 15 years, I'm confident in what I'm saying when it comes to the psych world. I can't say 100% because I've not personally interviewed him, but he does not exhibit, by what I've seen on his wife's Facebook videos, etc., signs of being schizophrenic. I'd really like to know if he worked that day, the day before and or the day after. It would lead me to believe he likely wasn't using any hard drugs. I mean, serious meth, fentanyl. That information could tell me a lot. Another thing to look for would be frequent call-offs. Did he miss work? A lot. That's another sign of chronic substance use. That would include alcohol, meth, heroin, fentanyl. It's Indiana. We've got a lot of crap people like around here. People use, unfortunately. Okay, so let's go into some of these supporting pieces of information I grabbed. So, I mean, what does that really tell us? That tells us that he's obviously not taking any hardcore medication, at least for the last 3 years. So it might be safe to assume that even prior to that. Let's go to the chat here before we get ahead of ourselves. Thank you, Apple. What's up, Daisy? What's up, Misty? Anything I like? Welcome in. Good to see you too, Jamie. Thank you, D. Shout out to D. Ashley. Middle guy is too porky to be Richard Allen. Thank you, D. And Mustang. You guys rock. Appreciate that. Apple, Phil, Peace Train, D, Mustang, today's sponsors. Thank you so much. That's funny, Shane. Timmy, what up? Okay. Why don't we look at the confession? Well, at least what's written about it in the PCA. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so this is how we know the date. On April 3rd, 2023, Richard M. Allen made a phone call to his wife, Kathy Allen. In that phone call, Richard M. Allen admits several times that he killed Abby and Libby. Several times?
What?
At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
When did you shoot? When did you shoot?
I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean.
Let's see. Investigators had the phone call transcribed, and the transcription confirms that Richard M. Allen admits that he committed the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. He admits several times within the phone call that he committed the offenses as charged. His wife, Kathy Allen, ends the phone call abruptly. I don't know how we can misconstrue that unless they're just flat out lying. I don't understand why we don't have access to the transcripts. Unless they're just patiently waiting for this trial. Not quite sure. Okay, so he's confessing, and then 11 days later, they're giving him Ativan, and they gave it to him for 5 days. They gave him 2 milligrams daily, and that is standard, just to calm him down. So I wonder what he was doing. I wonder if this is when he broke the tablet. What if Kathy Allen was no longer answering his phone calls? Because in the PCA, it also says he pretty much stops any kind of phone calls after that. So we know he busted the iPad or whatever it was he was using, the tablet. And he was put on Ativan. So whatever these pills they're talking about recently, it's not any type of a controlled substance. That much we know, and that is a fact. What does that tell us? I don't know yet. It tells me that this is most likely a highly motivated, thought out crime. If he's not high on drugs, if he's not out of his mind, why did you do what you did? I'm trying to give him as many excuses as I can. You know, the dude is crazy. You know, they should have seen it. His family, doctors, whatever, blame it on them. They dropped the ball, right? He didn't get the help he needed. Unfortunate story. Well, that's not what we're seeing now. Okay, what about the drug use? Could he have been high that day? I don't know. Let's pull up a Reddit post here. All right, this one says here, I worked with Richard Rick Allen for 8 months at CVS. So to quickly disclaim, I'm not going to reveal anybody's name that did or still does work at the CVS location. What I can say is that I've been seeing a lot of speculation on really who he is. And if anybody knew anything about who he was, I did not personally interest myself in his outside life, but I did work with Richard Allen at the CVS from July 20th to April 2021. I'm not sure what that is. IOFC. Do not work officially. I officially do not work at CVS anymore, and as others have stated, CVS employees, were told to reply no comment. In response to any questions related to him, to clarify as well, Rick's official title was shift supervisor. What is that? Is that tech? Is that a pharmacy tech? He did have his license, but was only really a backup technician if needed. He was mostly either the shift leader or a shift support when he worked. I was a shift supervisor during my time there, and I personally worked with him every time we had a truck for the week, if not 3 to 4 times a week. Rick was the first and unfortunately the most polite and cooperative person to work with. He did a great job hiding in plain sight, right? Don't look at me, don't notice me, ever. And it does shake me a bit that I was alone with him lots of shifts. But in my opinion, The only story I ever heard about Rick's past at the time was that he was a recovering alcoholic. Went to an institution sometime prior to me working there, and she says she started working July 20th. And had worked at Walmart for a few years. Rick never pinged under anyone's radar because he was literally one of the nicest and joking people working there. He didn't seem paranoid or afraid of anything. So, of course, anybody who wasn't the police couldn't piece it together. I'm still pretty shocked on how close I was to him considering what we just found out. Supposedly. I've seen this question a few times. I'm actually non binary, but I present very much as a guy, and there were only two other guys working during my time. One will stay unnamed, and the other was Richard Allen. Let's see. So, I mean, it sounds like he was a straight arrow, not trying to cause any attention. That's why the death of his brother-in-law, Johnny Walker, I believe, is the catalyst for everything that happened. It's the one piece of bacteria in this petri dish that may have grew out of control. Let's pull up some more on that. Okay, so I now have a location and some details about the accident. So it was around 6:30. And it appears that he was on his way home from work. So he lives somewhere past this area here. Down in here. So he was, and he worked right here. So he died at 6:33, 3 minutes from his job. Well, he didn't die. He actually crashed, and I don't believe he was wearing a helmet. And then a few days after he passed away, they flew him to Fort Wayne, and then they buried him in Mexico in the German Baptist Cemetery. So the accident happened right around this area, West Airport Road. Okay. So once this accident happened, now remember, he was also living with his mother. So now that he's in the hospital and he's passed away, Kathy and other family members are now being pulled into Peru. So Johnny Walker worked here. We know that the Kleins were living right here. Now, right here is a bar that's known for playing pool. You go there to shoot pool. It's right in this area. So that puts Richard Allen in Peru. Actually, shortly after the Anthony Shots account is created. Not saying he had anything to do with the creation, but I mean, it's right around that time. Anthony Shots was registered July 14th of 2016. Richard Allen would be in Peru late September of 2016. So the catfish account creator, who has just been sentenced to like 40 years in prison, who lives right here, known to be communicating with Abby, or excuse me, Libby, is here. Now, the suspect in custody, Richard Allen, his wife grew up right here. Right out of high school. And right around this area is a 2nd Street. All of my sources that have been kind enough to provide me information, they know Keegan Kline, they know the Walkers, they know the Allens, tell me that 100% they know each other. Right? But we all know that talk is cheap. So right now, that's a rumor. But we're working on it. We are working on it. So Johnny Walker's accident pulls Richard Allen's entire family out of their norm. He's already lost his daughter to her new fiance, right? She has a new hero, maybe a real hero, a real protector. She's gone. She's getting married. He loses his only daughter and is now thrown into a financial issue, right? How am I going to pay for this? And on top of that, his brother-in-law passes away. And he's no longer has his wife as his daily compass, right? And he's yanked out here to Peru. And remember, some of my sources tell me that Kathy wasn't the sole family member to step in. There was a few of them. So they would kind of switch off. So if they're in Peru and they're, it's not their turn, who's to say they're not playing pool at one of these bars here throughout that period in time? Anthony Schatz didn't start targeting Abby and Libby until, well, they were actually targeting her on Instagram and things like that way before the Snapchat stuff. Oh, shout out to wife Lilith coming through with the super chat, justice for Abby and Libby. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. All right. And we know that the auto zone that is right here is mentioned in the Discovery Index. Now, local sources have given me information on that, but have asked me to stay quiet. I haven't been able to verify it anyway. So right now, it's just a rumor. A really, really good rumor that will most likely be true. And it's all happening right here. In this small circle, you have the creation of Anthony Schatz. You have the brother who passed away, who I believe is that incident is the catalyst for this crime. And it pulled Richard Allen into this area right here. That incident pulled him in to this little solar system right around this sea sammer, Keegan Kline. Right? And Keegan Kline's saying, hey, my father is using that. The court's basically saying, hey, man, your character is awful. We can't use that in court. You can't be our character witness. You're a dirty catfish CSAM. Smelly son bitch. So he's like, they won't listen to me. Well, because you can't prove it, or you've already kind of given away everything. Or who knows? Maybe they're working out a deal, and we'll know the details very soon. But everything is happening here. September, end of September, early October, and even into the months of December, we have a very, very skinny Richard Allen. So maybe he was on drugs, possibly. I'm not sure. And I believe he was not wearing a helmet. I think that might be what happened. I mean, he was in a Fort Wayne hospital, and I think 2 or 3 days later, he passed away. So I think it was this incident that made this tragedy possible. So I don't know what you guys think about that. And then also, here, let me pull this map back up. Almost forgot. Not finished with that point yet. Okay, now remember, Johnny Walker, God rest his soul, was sharing an address with his mother in this area here. So not only does that pull Richard Allen and Kathy Allen into Peru, it also puts them directly into the home of Johnny Walker, going through his things, handling his computers, and Richard Allen alone with his devices, a dead man's devices at that. So let's take a look at a post by Kathy Allen. And this will probably be our 15 to 20 minute warning here. Kathy Allen, and notice the date, December 6, 2016, right around this time, end of 2016, shortly after he passed. She writes, I want to let all friends and family of my late brother John that I am working on getting his Facebook account memorialized. Yesterday was very upsetting for a lot of us, and I still don't understand what was going on with his account. Hopefully this will fix it if it has been hacked by a monster of a person or persons. Now, somebody told me that they found somebody trying to communicate with other women, or with women and underage girls with his account after he passed away. Okay, now who had access to his information? Well, why don't we just take a look? Remember, Richard Allen would be now walking around in the same place that Johnny Walker lived. The same guy that worked right up the street from the Klein residence. What else was he doing with these devices? Just some food for thought. All right, let me zip down here to the bottom. We're falling behind. Shane says, Goal has heard that confession. Around that time, she started denying and putting stuff off. Might be a total confession for all we know. Yeah, it could be. Could be. Miranda, I think he was 16 at the time. Jill, I know a lot of Freemasons and they are good people. I know some that are douches. I know a couple that are cool. Jessica says, I probably shouldn't say this, but I can't stand when guys pose like that. It's funny. Metal says, he confessed to his wife and mother and was not forced. And when it says wife and mother, I wonder if that means they were just both standing there. You know what I mean? Like they were both looking into the tablet together. All right. So once I catch up on the chat, we're going to look into the military history stuff. Shout out to the person who sent this to me. They can take credit if they want. It might be in the chat. But yeah, the information is beginning to flow and looks like we're beginning to piece together a lot of this stuff. Miss Thang says, could Johnny Boy gotten mixed up with the girls online or the Anthony Shots profile as well? We're working on that. We'll find out. We'll know soon enough. Good question. Sleuth and his image comparisons literally trigger trolls every day. It's that good. Yeah, that one was pretty good. With the tongue out, I was like, whoa. Good to see you, GP. Congrats on the sentencing on Garrett. Garrett murdered her cousin Nicole. So that case is very near and dear to her. And we got her back 100%. And it looks like Nicole and Ray are getting the justice they deserve. I mean, there's going to be no justice, right? There's never really is justice, but these guys need to be punished. Smoking taco tongue. What the hell is that? Thank you, Mustang. All right, this will be our 10-minute warning. I'm going to zip down. Let's go to Jamie. What's she up to? Damn, that's why he's drooling. Them benzos make you jello. Thank you. Appreciate that. I wasn't sure. It sounds like such a weird word. We'll just call them benzos. That's what the kids call them. Do they normally hire people with mental issues as a manager for CVS? Apparently, he doesn't have mental issues. I was kind of hoping that he did. I want to give this guy an excuse. Either he's innocent or, man, if I find out that this dude was like having some kind of an inappropriate relationship or catfishing and he didn't want to face the music on that, so he killed these two girls, I don't know if I can handle that. My head's about to pop with the Garrett Kurtz stuff. I mean, I'm a calm dude and you guys see me cool, but inside it's boiling. Phil, my brother was asked to work with the defense. My granny told him, don't sell yourself to the devil. Yeah, you're always going have those crossroads. Oh, I got him. I got the gnat. I knew I shouldn't have grabbed any soil from outside. I was like, oh, I just need a little bit more. You never want to bring any of your outside soil in with your soil that has never been outside. You might get a fruit fly. And then they buzz around your head like a cartoon. Bzzz. It's annoying. Autumn says Ativan is the mildest benzo. I don't know how anyone could claim it would alter the mind. Yeah, apparently it's standard just to calm you down. Nothing significant. Got in a state to require benzos. So this is what was given to him while he was in prison. And it was for 5 days. I think 11 days after his confession. So, I mean, it tells us a little bit more about the story, right? So we know he's not batshit. Dan B, 2 milligrams of Ativan would not make you out of it. I've been prescribed it before for anxiety. Yeah, apparently this is something like if you need to be calmed down, maybe you're in shock or something. So he was not on any prescription drugs. He was not on anything when he made this confession. That's it. That's all. 5 days. Ativan. That's it. Excuse me. Metal Mama says, I could never be a defense attorney. Cannot help somebody get off who committed crimes. That's in any case. Yeah, and I feel like it's just a challenge to them. You know, like, hey, watch me get this guy off. You know, I'm better than these guys in that courtroom. You would kind of have to check out a reality, really, and then you kind of just step into that seat. You know, kind of blue pill yourself. Thank you, Lone Pony, with the 7-month flex. Wishing Sleuth and Sleuthers a wonderful weekend. Thank you, guys. Give a shout out to wife Lilith, Justice for Abby and Libby. Thank you so much. Mustang, you rock with the super sticker. D, one of my best mods. Middle guys, too porky. Super sticker. Thank you, Peace Train. Phil Bond and Apple. Hope to see you much, much more. It's been a minute. Thank you, guys. Couldn't do it without you. All right, let's zip on down here. Peace Train. I've worked in the mental health field for over 20 years. Only one time did a consumer hurt someone out of all that time. People with the mental health diagnosis are more likely to hurt themselves. Yeah, so that's what it's looking like. More and more, this case is looking like a highly motivated, premeditated crime. That puts Anthony Shots more and more into play here. Now, I don't know if it was a tool. I don't know if it was the first contact. I don't know what the hell was going on. But we know that Richard Allen was going back and forth to Delphi in Peru. And also, from what it looks like, and I don't know if I took a screenshot. Hold on. Maybe we'll look at that real quick. I don't know if this is going to paint the picture. I'll try to explain it. But anyway, here. So if they're living down in this area, right? If you're leaving this area and going into Delphi or probably even just coming in from Peru, there is a way that you go right by Libby's home and then you come down to Ron Logan's place and go down 300 and go right in front of the Hoosier Harvest Store camera to park at the CPS building. So this could explain why he came from 300, because he's coming from Peru. And don't forget, in Peru at 8 a.m. at East Canal Street, where Keegan and his father were living, also people coming and going, talk about PCP and heavy duty drugs, Keegan Klein passing out. Anybody could use my phone. Maybe he wasn't lying. Right? Right here. Small town Indiana with a super chat. Hope all is well. Showing some support for the channel. Have a great one. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, and we know during the Keegan Klein interview transcript, what did it tell us? Log in and log out. 8 a.m. Right? Zipping on up this way over to old Keegan Klein's home, logging into the account, logging out. Then they go and establish the alibi. And then we hear nothing but half-truths from Keegan Klein ever since. And now we're pretty certain that he's working with the prosecution. And I quote, the guys. And we'll come back to that on another live stream. But I want to finish with this. So this is very interesting here. It says, Dear recipient, thank you for contacting the National Personal Records Center. The military service information provided in this reply has been extracted from records on file at the center and is released to you under the Freedom of Information Act. Richard Matthew Allen served in the U.S. Army from 6/5/1991 to 7/26/1991. So he didn't even make it through boot camp, guys. Look at that. Bam. The information is beginning to pile up. Yeah, I think that's all I had for you guys. Do with it what you may. GP, I believe he had a loose screw for years. Yeah, all he needed was a little bit of freedom and some bad influence and maybe some hard drugs. And just outside of Kathy's supervision, there you go. You got a madman. You know, hanging out with the Kleins, watching them Keegan catfish, maybe them both. He thinks, ooh, I have access to a dead man's devices. Or maybe even, I don't want to throw out hypotheticals on a dead man's name. So I'm not going to go that route. You know, if that was to ever be proven, we'll talk about it. But you guys can fill in the blanks with that. So there's many theories that could come from this. But we know that Johnny Walker was passed away, God rest his soul, and Richard Allen was in his home, had access to his devices, and somebody hacked into his account during that time, right? All right. I apologize if I didn't get to everybody's comments. I'm going to try to blow through these real quick. Good to see you, Cindy. Yeah, that's annoying. GP says, yeah, I can't stand the fact that the suspect doesn't have to reveal why the reasoning for their crimes. To me, I feel like that's the most important part. Stephen Hipkiss, shift supervisor at CVS is basically the manager on duty when the store's manager isn't working. Yeah, I always imagined it as like, hey, the pharmacist is like, I got to go on a break or I'm going to lunch. Richard Allen would be like, okay, I'm qualified to step in and just watch the place for an hour. Like, I can't fill prescriptions and shit, but I can come and hang out for a minute and help out. And then I guess with all of the departments there, he's probably just rotating. But you would have to be some kind of an assistant manager, I'm assuming. And then pharmacy tech, so he has access to that department. Thank you, Willow. Says, great live tonight, everyone. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Willow. It's good to see you. Yeah, great information. You know, it's not always about digging and being a great sleuth. Sometimes it's just about creating a professional atmosphere and making yourself available, making people feel comfortable sharing information with you. You know, it took us a long time to begin to chip away at that, and we're getting there. So I appreciate everybody who has trusted me with information, and hopefully we don't ruin that. We don't want to give out too much information and cross that line either, right? What's up, Hathers? Lots of people have mental health problems, but people don't usually just go around unaliving people. To me, that's one of the things that separates humans from animals. So why did he do it? If he's a guilty man, he's that bridge guy. Why? You know, if you're not on some kind of psychotropic drug, you're not some meth addict. Like, why'd you do it? Without those excuses, I mean, it just makes it so hard to wrap your mind around. Those are the first two things, right? Well, maybe he's out of his mind and on drugs. Well, I haven't been able to find any evidence. You know, in the bridge guy video, it looks like he has something in his mouth. Cigarette, crack pipe, I don't know. I mean, what makes folks act and do those things? You just can't wrap your mind around it. And for him to be able to just plea out like Garrett Kurtz and not explain that, man, that's rough. That is rough. Molly says, as in the last name German Baptist Cemetery. Well, that's where he's buried. I mean, we see the name German quite often, right? Germain and German, Liberty German. But apparently a lot of Kathy's family is buried there. But another connection to Mexico. Thank you, Metal. Justice for Abby and Libby. Billy, don't be a hero. That's funny. Anthony says, wife Lilith, hello. Sparky, good to see you, Sparky. What's up? Julianne saying hello to Lilith. All right, guys. Dinner has arrived. That's my cue. Mark, what's up? Welcome in. Anthony, someone pissed Richard Allen off and was going to expose him for something. That's what I think happened. If what the witnesses are saying is true, he was walking with purpose. They even said something like, oh, somebody had a bad day. So he was stomping, and if that's him on the bridge with his tongue out looking all crazy, what the hell was he so mad about? And why is he arriving to the bridge? Why is he arriving to the CPS building right at the very moment the girls are leaving Libby's home? Like, I'm going to get there before they get there. And then he goes directly to the bridge where they go. They're both meeting each other. They're going to the same exact place. And none of them are seen again. Well, Richard Allen is seen again, but the girls aren't. I mean, it's all coming together. I can see it. I just don't have all the proof and everything to show you guys yet. But we are chipping away at it. What's up, Candy? Good to see you, Cindy. But guys, that is all my time. I will see you members in the poll later tonight. We're going to start getting the members' choice together for Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday, we will be back for True Crime in the Morning. The case that we are covering this Monday is Bethany Bauer. And I'll pull up the thumbnail I made for this case. So I just started diving into this case earlier today. It was recommended to me. Thank you to that person. So we're going to try to make sense of this. And at the very least, we're going to bring some much needed attention. Missing without a trace. So I will see you guys again real soon. Have a safe weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace out.